Hello and welcome, beloveds, to another episode of Ask Dr. Mumbi. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways, beloveds, all your ways, and that you're moving into living life truly on your own terms. And, congratulations, beloveds. You made it. You made it to 2022, the new frontier, the new vibe, the new time. And, it's only good times from here. Well, spiritually good times. I think the worst is over. Let me put it like that. The worst is over. The things that you have had to endure, the terrible realizations that you've had to come to about, the dynamics you were in with friends, with family, and kind of disentangling yourself from that have all been worth it, because now you start, it's like, I really believe some of us, is like we're starting a whole new life, beloveds. That's how it feels to me, like a whole new life, a whole new book. I still have a few of the scars, and and I'm still kind of blowing the final little wounds from the battlefield. But this is the season we're in, and I wanted to talk a little bit, because I keep getting a lot of questions about relationships and etc. etc. And I wanted to talk about, why do so many people who are awakening go through like a season of celibacy? And please also check out the video I did on divorce, why so many people who are awakening end up separating from their significant others or getting divorced. I'm actually also thinking of doing a separate show on how to navigate out of those toxic, partnerships, sexual, intimate partnerships, because it's a whole different level from like bloodlines and family. And most of them, really, because we're spiritual beings having a human experience, it's people who have followed us into this life, or who we have some kind of situation with, karma, like something happened in a previous life that gives them access to us in this life for, so that scores can be settled. So the reason that so many people become celibate when you're transitioning is because, beloveds, as I keep saying, you attract who you are. Not who you're becoming, not who you're gonna be, not who you want, not who you desire, not who it's you attract who you are. And what happens is that, the awakening process is like, it's a massive dismantling mentally, which affects the physical as well. But it's a massive, like, dying to self, dying to your old self, because you realize, you've been told so many lies. You've been living life in a totally different, dimension that didn't really even exist, with the kind of ideas that you based your life on, etc., etc. And so you start changing. And so often what will happen is, as you start changing, as you start recognizing different lies, sometimes it's the bigger lies, like of religion and everything, and then you narrow down to your own life, where you realize this person has always been, trying to take you out. This is an energy vampire. When you start to have those realizations, and you're kind of detoxing your life from all these people, all these, you find it's easier on the heart to go the way of celibacy, because, beloveds, any relationship that you get into during that transition process, 9 times out of 10, they're just there to help you get through that lesson. They're not there, so, and most of the times the way that we get through lessons is by having an opposing force, which, where it's like, the way we've been taught, where pain is attached to a certain idea, and so that idea sticks with you for life, or that lesson sticks with you for life. So most of the times, any relationship you're entering at that time is matching your chaotic vibration. So, and when you're transitioning, you go up and down. Sometimes you're highly elevated, you're cleansing, you're meditating, you're doing all this, you're living a clean mental life, and then sometimes you're just you're detoxing, because you've recognized some family member who has been trying to, kill you since you were born, and all this stuff, and it's heavy. And so it takes you back into this your shadow. It takes you back into a darker side of yourself. And so if you meet someone at that point, beloveds, it could literally take you out. It's just because you'll meet someone, you literally, you meet the devil. Literally, you'll meet people who are on that low vibration. And so that's why many people, throughout their when they start awakening, they realize that they attract these highly intense, almost like previous life relationships. And it's usually so, there's a lesson there. It starts with fire, it often ends with fire. And there's just a lot there. It's very hard, and you're blessed, seriously, if you meet someone as you're awakening and you're both able to awaken together. Because, when we think about these things being of vibration, there's no way that, like, you can meet someone on a higher vibration and they walk you through your process. You see, for me, beloveds, one of the greatest things, I was always looking for, like, that rescue, you know what I mean? That person to rescue me from this or rescue me from that. And often I hadn't done the necessary work. And so those people appeared like, and I've dated so many false prophets in my life, beloveds, where they appear to be these gurus and these great intellectuals and these great spiritualists. But with where your vibration is, there's no way the Most High would allow you to connect with one of his highest level beings, because you're just adding toxic to their lives. And that's one thing I had to realize, because I always felt like, okay, this is it, this is the person who's going to help me. And it doesn't work like that. You meet who you are. And that's one of the hardest lessons that I learned. And I think you'll realize that the relationships as you're awakening are so intense that it becomes better to really just be celibate, to go through it on your own, and to work through the healing by the tears, by yourself, your own therapy. There's ways that your spiritual team will help you therapize yourself. I know that's not even a word, but there's a way that your spiritual team will step in and assist you, beloveds. And it's also because of your gifts. And I think that is more important than even the toxic relationships you may attract. Oh, hey. Beautiful bird, like blue, orange, white. It's very significant, your gifts, and why you need to be, celibate, just as a protection mechanism. But let's take a short break. I'll get into that right after this. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, Africa. Welcome back, beloveds, to Ask Dr. Mumbi. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? Special shout out always to our Patreon family. Thank you so much for supporting us on that platform. There are many more shows on there, so definitely do consider joining us for as little as $2 a month. So, beloveds, we're talking about the celibacy. Why many find themselves in this almost like spiritual vow of celibacy, if I can put it like that. What does that actually mean? Why do we find ourselves in this situation? So I mentioned the first part, which is like, as you're flushing out all these things, someone may mistake you for a habit you're releasing, or for a certain mentality you're releasing, because to release that thing, usually you have to go deep into it and kind of stew in it, and it's a process. And in that process, if you meet anyone, because it's like parts of us are dying, beloved. So it's not easy, and it does, that's why there's so many highs and lows in the awakening process. Sometimes you'll feel great, like you're making so much progress, and then other times you'll feel like you're not getting anywhere. So so that's the first part, is like you may attract someone who is either also transitioning, or is toxic, because you're releasing that toxicity so they can clutch onto you at that time, cling onto you, whatever. But the other more important thing is, it's your spiritual team, beloveds. Because you see, the awakening, why they call it the awakening, is because you are coming online. Before you started your awakening journey, only 5-6% of your potential was online, of your gifts, of your powers was online. And once you commit to the awakening journey, then all those gifts now start to come in their truth. Like, I've always been a prophet, I've always been a seer. But ever since my awakening, so I could always see things, it would spook people out. I could always, predict what was going to come. But now it's a whole, like that seer ability has gone on a whole other level, beloveds. Whole other, it's opened up. I mean, it's not even, it's beyond seer at this point. I won't get too into it, but, and it's just like unfolding that gift. I had to release so much just so I could stand in this gift, because this gift, it's like having life and death in the tongue, where you're not just a seer, but you can say something that will influence what you're seeing, influencing the outcome, either for good or for bad. And if you're out of balance, you'll do it for bad because you're emotional, because you're angry, whatever. So I see why I had to die to those parts of myself. And so your gifts, beloveds, they've just been on survival mode. They've just been on like low battery mode. You know what I mean? Just giving you the basics to help you get to where you need to go until you are in a space where they can be, unfolded and awakened in you. Because, beloveds, you see, the gifts and powers, it's a catch-22. It's a double-edged sword. Because those same powers and giftings can totally bless and elevate your life. I mean, you came in with them for a reason, because they're supposed to help you on your great work. But if you come into them while you're unbalanced, they can kill and destroy you. Because some of you're the only one who can kill yourself. No one can take you out. I think now, after surviving on you're maybe on your 9th life or your 10th life, it's time to see that, hey, there's something here. Maybe I'm the only one who can really do this. So I need to start moving differently. So, and also a lot of us, especially the highly gifted ones, we came in with enemies of our souls who attacked our self-confidence from day one, our self-esteem, how we feel about ourselves from day one. And so we have had to get that confidence back. Because you see, when you lack self-confidence, when you lack self-worth, you'll give your gift away. You'll even feel like you don't deserve it. You'll give your healing ability. You'll sleep with your husband and continuously transfer that gift of abundance or that gift of healing to him, because you don't believe in yourself. You don't hold that energy. Because confidence is a vibration, beloveds, that you stand in. And it's a very high vibration. Because your giftings come online at a certain level. So if you dip, they're still there, but they're not as strong as when you're continuously elevated. So another reason that you become celibate is because your spiritual team now wants you to protect your gifts. Because now that they're online, the enemies of your souls that have been looking for them all your life will come for you harder. So if you're not confident, if you haven't done the necessary healing, if you haven't done the necessary, then your gifts and your powers become a danger to you, because they make you a target. And the easiest way that these things are transferred is through sex, through intimate relationships, even friendships, just having people around you constantly. There's people who will just be your friend and they're harvesting your power, they're harvesting your healing vibes, sometimes to heal themselves. Because they haven't told you they have a terminal illness. Stories are for other days. I mean, I seriously should start a story time. So, beloved, your spiritual team will force you to be celibate so that you can safeguard and protect yourself. You have to now start seeing yourself as a highly valuable being, highly sought after. And you must, and once you recognize that, then you're going to become extremely selective of who you're sleeping with, because, when you come online, you're a target. Everyone can see you. It's like you're beeping now on the map, They can see you, but they can't reach you unless you allow them to reach you, which is through low vibrational thoughts and actions. So celibacy actually works sometimes to protect you, because your gifts will start to come online before you've done the full healing. They won't be fully activated, but they'll be online. And there's people who are looking for those gifts. You see, beloveds, that's the thing. Because of the way the world has worked with all these secret societies, Lucifer's people, the devil's people, the occult, the negative occult, the wizards and warlocks of the dark side are way ahead of us, and they've been doing so many things just like that in the dark to harvest our energy individually and collectively. And many of us have not even known that we have anything to protect. And don't forget also, beloveds, that a lot of the things you did, whether it was getting into relationships with super low demonic people or whatever it was, most of it was done, was manipulated, like you were someone's puppet. And so the awakening journey has been for you to recognize whose puppet you were and to awaken. And so really, beloveds, as your energy changes, as you become more powerful, use discernment in who you share those powers with. It's an honor and a privilege for anyone to be around a healer, to be around a blessed one, to be around someone who has the blessing of abundance. Like, they will always have money. It's an honor for someone to be around you, a chosen one. It's an honor. Like, you bless people's lives just by having them as friends. So until you see yourself right, your spiritual team may keep you in celibacy, beloveds, or bring in some really toxic, past life relationship issue, karmic, they call it, that you guys have some scores to settle. They may bring in one of those. But it becomes trickier every time, beloved, to use other people in your healing. Ultimately, you'll realize it's better to just work through this stuff yourself. And when you're ready, your divine counterpart will come. Stay uplifted, beloveds. Tuko pamoja.